Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of Ancient and Modern Cooking Tips. Yeah guys, so on today's topic, we're going to talk about the almighty fried rice. Like the one you're actually seeing on my that fried rice. The basic Nigerian fried rice, as it will be called, as we call it. But that's like one of my favorite dishes to make. Like I know how the talks of it takes so much time. I get it. I understand you. I feel your pains. Because I do complain about that. But nowadays we have like people who make those things easier. So we're going to talk about that later subsequently. But right now what we're talking about is the whole process of making this fried rice. So you find out some people do not really make fried rice. For me, jollof rice, we're going to get to that part, but jollof rice is one of my biggest issue, and I don't know why, but for some reason I can't seem to get it right all the time. But for fried rice, my fried rice 100% does not flop. Even though I try to make it I tried my hands on certain things, different ways to make it. So in cooking, you always find this particular food or pattern or style that works better for you and probably might not work for the next person. But then there are other times that you see and you find out that this same thing that I have done, somebody else did it and I think this is better than mine. Do you get? There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is finding out what this person has done better, what this person is doing right, what this person has done wrong. They might not always tell you, and I still also believe that you might not always, most often, get all of these from. Okay, let's not do that. Let's scrap that. Now, moving forward. So you know when you want to make your food, yes, you have like the whole process of going to the market, getting the stuffs that you need. You know that. So for the sake of those who are not like already aware of what we might need, you will need rice, the long grain type specifically, or unless in some cases when you don't find it, you can use what you have. But for fried rice, for me, the long grain rice is most likely what works better. If you find a cheaper alternative, less alternative, suggest that what you will do to the long grain rice, you might have to do either less or more for the other rice. For me, that is how I would do it. Depends on the type of rice that I get. So moving on, you get your rice. You already know carrots, green beans, emphasis on beans, not peas, green pepper, I call carrot already, ginger and garlic, like not powdered ginger and garlic, not grated, minced, that's what they call it now. Minced ginger and garlic might work, but it would be wise if you get the fresh bulb of a garlic. Most preferably what I do is I mix the native and the foreign one. I don't know how to explain that, but if you get there, you can tell them you want the foreign garlic and the native garlic. How you know the differences? I think the native one, that's the one that's found here, is usually like smaller, tinier, and the foreign one is the big one that you can just easily take off the skin. It's usually bigger and white. white of some sort, but the other one is almost the same color with the red onion. So you get that, you get spring onion alternate, liver is even alternatively. So another thing that you should not do when you're talking about fried rice, curry. But in this case, I'm being specific about the curry. Do cross curry. This is not a paid ad. Nah, it is not a paid ad. This is me speaking to you from my time of cooking, and I am telling you that the cross curry is not optional. It is a must. It is a necessity. Yes, that's true. Chicken belly can be alternated as well, but then if you find it, use chicken seasoning cube for your stock. Now, whether you are using beef, I'm speaking for me. I don't know about other people. I'm just saying my own. So it's a platform where you can share your opinions, talk about it. Let's talk about it. You can talk about yours. I will tell you mine, but this is mine. This is how I do it, and it has worked for me every time. So you can get like chicken cubes. Preferably, I use no chicken cubes all the time. Even when I am using beef, chicken, turkey to make this fried rice, I always use chicken seasoning. I miss it with stamagi, but I always use chicken seasoning. This is where I say chicken belly is alternated. If you don't find that, you can use just chicken seasoning. You get? So I've said green pepper, I've said green peas, I've said carrots, I've said ginger, garlic, basically liver, but basically these are the idea. Curry thyme. If you can't find the cross thyme, you can use any other thyme, but the cross thyme is also advisable. But the curry is non-negotiable, my loves. Non-negotiable. It has to be the cross curry. That, at least that's what I think is my secret. So when all of this is done, you know the best processes of dicing your carrots, dicing your green peas, making like dicing, and by dicing I mean like cutting them into smaller bits. Yes. So when all of that is done, you set them aside. You cut your spring onions if you have any. If you don't, you use regular onion, and it still works. But if you can find it, please do. When all of this is done, you set them aside. The next thing to do is make sure when you are seasoning your protein, chicken, beef, turkey, whatever you are using, make sure that in this meat stock you have ginger and garlic inside. I cannot overemphasize ginger and garlic in the taste of fried rice. I know some of you are like, oh yeah, I don't like ginger and garlic. Fried rice. I don't know, it just gives the fried rice a whole different. In fact, recently I'm using it to cook stew. I'm using it for jollof rice. I'm using it for spaghetti. But that wasn't what I was raised with. I wasn't raised with it that way. So you see, hence ancient and modern. You get the point now. So I wasn't raised with making foods with ginger and garlic. But then for fried rice, we always had that in there. But for some reason, it always gave the fried rice a different taste. So when it is not there, it's almost always noticeable. Listen, it is always almost noticeable. Yes, that's what I said what I said. So yeah, now you're seasoning your meat, you're doing all of that. Be very generous with the spice, because this meat stock is one of the two things that actually makes the whole fried rice. It makes the whole fried rice particularly one of the two things that, so you have to season it properly, because when you take it out, I don't know where this accent is coming from, but when you take out the meat, remember that you're going to fry it, and at the end of the day, if you don't put in time and the work into cooking your protein stock very well, like your protein very well, and let the juice of the protein and the seasoning and everything mix well, combine together, you are ending up with just water and other products. Yes. So you know you have a very good stock when you start seeing those oil from maybe the turkey or beef or whatever you bought. Not a whole lot, because for chicken and turkey it's almost inevitable. For beef you might find that hard to find, but it's always there. There's always a sign that you have done this right. So onion. Some of you will say, I don't eat onion. I know you don't eat onion. Blend it. Use your hand grater, blend it. You will not see it. It will dissolve in the food. Because why will you cook food without onion? Who does that? You do it. I know you, and I'm calling you out. Stop it. Blend the onion and pour it in the meat stock, in the meat, the whole process of making your meat stock. So yeah, when that is done, you hear me? So for like big occasions when we have like Christmas festivals, or not festivals, Christmas festival, Christmas celebration, or Easter or whatnot, those days when we used to cook fried rice only on special occasions, Easter, Christmas, New Year, yeah, we have to pick one of those days to make fried rice. It's like if you're making fried rice, is something happening? Yes. So you have to now know if you're going to start at night, you're going to start later in the day, when you're going to start or when you're going to end up. Now what happens is, if you're making fried rice and you want to do it, you want to start prepping a day before. My best advice is you start you do it in the evenings, let's say 7, 8. If you are not so tired, if you are so tired rather, 7, 8, that's okay. You can do that. Take the meat out from the meat stock, please. Remove it, yes, remove it. Separate the meat from the meat stock. If you have so much time on your hand, just fry the meat immediately. Just try your best to fry the meat immediately or almost immediately. And frying it does not mean you just put it in the oil and remove it. Try as much as possible to fry it so it will be dried so it cannot hold moisture, so it doesn't go bad against the next day. You're using oil, you've steamed this meat, so it's most likely to go bad if you don't fry properly. So you fry properly so it dries, like you make sure it gets dried, not so dry to the extent that you cannot eat it. Because what I do again the next day is I put that same meat back in the oil, because you want the flavored oil. You use that same oil to make the whole rice. Hear me. I know that those health people, you will come for me, but there's something about using the oil that you use to fry your chicken to make your fried rice. I'm just going to get there. I don't know how, but just listen, and this is how I've done it, and this is how it has been working for me. So please don't come for me. Let me just my message across. So now, when all of this is done, you take your meat stock, you cover it. If you have a fridge or a freezer, good for you. Just keep it inside there. If you don't, you just have to leave the meat stock inside the pot, cover it properly. But then, for you that do not have a fridge or freezer, you have to wake up early in the morning. You have to wake up early in the morning because you don't want your meat stock to go sour. You don't want it to go bad. You don't want it to have a bad smell. So you have to wake up like very early. Say you've done this 8, 9, 10 and you are done under wraps, you finished everything that you want to do. You leave it, so you start timing yourself. I don't know how, but this is how I've always done it in my house. And if now I don't have a fridge or freezer in my house, I'll still do the same thing. Wake up by 4 or 5, then start the whole process. If you can also prepare your veggies ahead of time. But if you cannot, you would go and start doing that in the morning. So while you are steaming, while you are heating or preheating the meat stock that you had left from yesterday, you could just be doing that. You don't need it to come, what's the word, overly come to a boiling roll, a boiling boil. I don't know how to explain it, but then you don't need the meat stock to be so hot or overly hot. You just need it to, like, most of the time if you use chicken or turkey, you even find fat on top. Like you find the oil that I was talking about previously, you find them on top of the meat stock. They've dried up and they've come together. Yes, so you really need to do that. So just melt the oil on top of that. So while that is while you are working that, now there are two ways to go about the rice. Either you parboil it, either you parboil it, give it a hot bath, or give it, no, there are actually 3 ways because I just learned one recently. Most recently. So, and I tried it with this last fried rice I had made and it worked. So there are 3 ways you could do this, that this could work out for you. You could parboil your rice if you cannot maybe be so sure of if the rice will be soft or hard, especially if it's a particular brand of rice that you've not used before. You could try it out by parboiling. You probably might have eaten it, so you should know. If it's going to be so soft, I don't think there's any need to parboil it. But if it's not going to be so soft, you have to parboil. Not exactly though, but it's something that I do that works for me. But now, instead of the normal way you make it when you want to cook your normal white rice, you have to do it a little bit less. You get? So you just make sure it gets hot and then you take it off the heat. You wash your rice, make sure that all the starch, the water is now like white. If you don't do that, you do what we call hot bath. And that's why you see those women that make party foods. That's what they do most of the time. They will boil like very hot water and then get the rice, pour it in and wash it. Pour the rice inside the water that they've boiled, not parboiling it, not putting it on the fire. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just hot water being poured over the rice as regards to, instead of putting the rice in the water, put it on the pot, then back on the fire, allow it to boil over. No, this is what they do is allow the water boil and then pour the water over the rice. Then stir it with the those very long spoon, ladle, don't stick, whatever. Stir it and then eventually find those big sieve and then wash it. So immediately they are done, they just put it inside the meat. The third one that I told you I just found out. What this person did was he bought the rice, washed the rice, not with water, not with hot water, just with cold or room temperature water, just normal water from your tap. Run the water over the rice, wash the rice I think 3 times or just till the water is clear. You cannot see any cloudy, you can see directly at the rice when you look through the water. So you do that, you rinse, you sieve, and you keep it. So now somehow the rice is still practically just raw. It's still just your normal rice that you take out of the sack, but just that you've washed it. Do you get? So we have passed the level of preparing the veggies, steaming the meat, frying the meat, getting your rice ready for the whole preparation. Now, because you know this is fried rice, we know this is fried rice, right? Now, I'm going to give you tips on how to make this work. Because this is fried rice, yes, you could pour your rice, the one that you've parboiled, in the meat stock, or pour the rice in the pot, then pour the meat stock over it. Now, depends on how much quantity of meat stock you have in your pot. You now know you've eaten fried rice. You know how a normal fried rice should be. Now, this is where water control. I don't know how to call it. I'm not a chef. I'm not a proper chef. Bless me. I'm not a proper chef. So I don't know how you'd control your water, but then you would know how a proper fried rice should taste. If from when you parboil this, if you are using the first process and you feel like your rice is still so very soft, and the water that you have, the meat stock rather, that you have is a lot, is more than what you bargain for, let's put it that way, you would do this instead. You would strain the water with a sieve. The top part you would take off. The bottom part where everything, the residue has settled, you would use. I don't know how to explain. You would use that, not so much, just as far as it covers the rice. So now, if you pour the meat stock inside your rice and you feel like this thing is not giving, what I do is I use the turning stick, because I don't use the wooden spoon. Let's use it that. Let's put it that way. I use the wooden spoon and I put it inside the rice after I've poured in the meat stock, raise it up to see how much color I have on there. If I don't have enough color, I pick my cross curry and sprinkle some on there. I sprinkle some on there. To get, I leave it there for a while. So now, you don't want the rice to be soft. Obviously, you don't want it to be so soft because you still have to fry it. Fried rice. Yes. And the more it goes into heat, the softer it gets. So you don't need it overly soft. Overly soft, you don't need that. You don't need that for your fried rice. So you just keep watching it. Not that you go to the pot every 2 seconds, every 2 minutes to go and be opening the pot. Since you are using the bottom part of the meat stock, you just need the water to be on the same level with the rice, not above the rice so much that you could see the water away from the rice. Just on the same level with the rice, the same level with the rice, just so you don't get, so everything just, so the rice gets softened and have more taste. It has more taste to get. So if you are not doing that, you should do this as well. You get the oil from the chicken, the flavored oil, the oil that you use to fry the chicken. Pour a bit in there. This is one of the newest modern techniques that I have found that actually works. You get this flavored oil, you pour it in the pan, and you put onion. You stir fry it for a while. You see the rice that you wash, that's the one that you either cold press or press or whatever, or even a hot bath or a cold bath. Either one of those, you would pour directly into that oil and onion mix. Yeah. You stir and stir and stir. Let's say you are toasting the rice, because that was the word that he used. You are toasting the rice, and then you toast the rice. Instantly you pour in your meat stock. Obviously now you know that the rice is still raw, practically raw. So you pour in your meat stock directly into that toasted rice, or rice that is still toasting, or whatever. I'm not saying you should put the river of oil, just small oil to just, so as much as when you are turning the rice, you are seeing the oil on the body, you guys, you have done the right job. Not overly, not too much, because you don't need the oil in that rice. You don't need it actually. You would stir it, then pour the meat stock. When you pour the meat stock, obviously you know that the rice is still undercooked. You add more water. Adding more water, you do the same step. Take your wooden spoon, pull it up, see how much color you have on there. Sprinkle curry on there. Curry is important for color. Don't go and buy color in the market. You don't need it. You people will be cooking green rice. Stop it, oh. Stop cooking green rice. Green rice is not fried rice, please. Don't go to the market and be buying color. That's why I'm telling you this secret, my hack, my kitchen secrets. I don't know, sorry. Let's continue. So you just sprinkle the curry on there, and then you cover it and allow it to cook. So while this is going on, you're watching it, and you know that you have to start prepping your veggies when you put in your wooden spoon and there's no longer liquid coming from the rice. I don't know how to explain it, but you will know that your rice is cooked. Now, at this moment, you should already having heavenly smell, because the mixture of that garlic, the curry, the thyme, the bay leaf, the chicken bene, chicken seasoning, everything is already, in the rice. Everything is cooking inside the rice and it's giving that, so this is what we're doing now. You are getting ready. You will take some of those garlic, some of your ginger, you dice them or you grate them. I say that. Yes, you grate it. For those of you, grate it, slice it, whatever you want to do. When you are ready, you take some of that chicken flavored juicy oil from the one that used to fry the chicken, actually, obviously. So you take some oil, a bit, pour it, depending on how much veggies you have. I don't know what you are cooking. I don't know how many people you are cooking for. You would pour that chicken oil in a pot or pan or whatever that you have that is your spare. Pour it in there. Pour your ginger and your garlic when it is heated up directly into that pot. You put your spring onion. I missed something. When you are prepping for your veggies, you see the green bell pepper is non-negotiable, my loves. You can add any other pepper that you see that green one, please. Don't miss it for anything in the world, please. I beg, before you go and be buying green color, don't miss green pepper. When you cut that green pepper, you see that seed inside. Always cut. Let's take it back to science class. Always dissect. Always dissect the green pepper. That what I mean by dissecting is cut it from the middle. They don't bring light. Cut it from the middle, then take out those seeds. It's usually not scattered. It's just there. It's usually not scattered. It's just there. Do you get? Like you could take it out easily, but most of the time it's burnt. So you have to use like a glove or any nylon that is clean. Take out the seeds because they are bitter. They are bitter, like very bitter, my loves. How and that pepper is actually very sweet. If you taste it on its own, is it taste? Is it sweet or tan? It just has its own smell. There's this sweet smell that it gives off when you cut it. So you take out the seed. You see that place where you hold the green pepper from. There's this thin handle now that will call it the head of the pepper. You know how you're removing pepper from the normal red pepper that we use to cook stew? That one, but the green pepper is always like bigger. You cut from the bottom like into two, split it. You split it, then take out the seeds from the middle like this, not inside. So you don't need any of that seed because it's bitter. So you take that out. So back to what we're talking about. You put in your green pepper, your carrots, your green peas. You get the normal stir frying process. You stir fry, add a little more curry, a little more, not so much because you already added in your meat stock, you already added in your rice, so you need just a little bit more. Yes, so that's what happens. After that, you'd leave, add time when you're doing that. I add time. I don't know about any other person, but me, I do add time. If you have your diced liver, if you're going to use that, this is your moment to do it, because most especially you must have fried the liver at the point of what's it called, frying your meat. Yes, so you probably must have fried your liver and diced it up. By now you add everything that you want to add. Now something that I need to clarify is you are cooking fried rice, not groundnut oil rice. You don't need ororo everywhere, please. You need it, and you are obviously going to see it at the bottom of the plate when you are finished, or the pot when you are finished cooking, because obviously the one from the meat is still going to settle somehow. Then the one that used to fry the meat, or the one that you used when, so obviously you're going to have like traces of it, but we don't need so much of it. We know they cook what's it called, oil rice, even if you're cooking oil rice. So what you do is to just try to manage the oil, like the oil control, because if the oil is also too much, your veggies will become soggy, and you don't need soggy veggies when you're making fried rice, because at the end of the day, when you finish making the veggies separately, you're still going to add them to the rice, and when you do that, the heat from the rice is still going to make them softer. So you don't need your veggies to be so soft when you're already making, like prepping them or pre-cooking them, whatever, for the whole process. So you don't need them too soft. You just need them well done, not so soft, not undercooked, but medium. I don't know how to explain, but you can just keep checking with the carrots along as you go, and you can even see, because the more you cook the carrot, the weaker it gets, and the lighter the color of the carrot is. So yes, the carrot is like the easiest way to check out. So when this is done, by now your rice should be ready or almost ready. What I do most time, I take the rice out of the pot, not leaving it in that pot. I take it out of the pot. Now there's another process. The way we used to do it back then, the way we used to do it in my house is, when the rice is cooked or properly cooked or whatnot, I just immediately pour the veggies that I have just fried and pour it inside and stir and mix it, and then put it back on the fire for a little while, and then bring it down. The rice is ready. It will actually still work out fine. I promise you, it will work out very well. But one thing I noticed is, with that method, the whole beans, carrots, peas, whatever, everything that you have mixed on there might not like go down. Do you get? You understand me? Like, do you get me? They might not go round everywhere. You would only try your best, but cannot see everything. So what I resolved in doing is that I would literally take the rice out of the pot. If I don't have a bigger pot than that, and I would still use that pot. I will take it, whether or not I have a bigger pot, I will still take it out, put it in like a big sieve, a very big sieve. Now, because your rice is cooked, but it's still like the grain will still be like not together, and you don't need the heat. So another mistake that you make is you finish cooking the rice and you leave it on that place where you cooked it. The heat will keep cooking the rice. You find out that the top might be dry but the down is a bit mushy. You don't want that, so you take it away from the heat. So this also helps with that, because if you bring it out, you might think that, oh, the top is not so soft and you don't have a soggy rice or you don't have a mushy rice. You bring it out, I bring it out and find out that, oh, the bottom was still cooking. Even though I took it away from the heat, the bottom was still cooking. So what I do is now flip the coin so that the top goes to the bottom and the bottom comes to the top, and the heat cools it off, and the down at the end of the day gets the heat that's coming from the top, and it's like it levels everything. Like everything is now on the same. How do I explain this? It's now on, because you don't go ahead and keep stirring and stirring and stirring. You don't want your fried rice to burn. So when you flip it over, the heat that's meant to be at the bottom now is on top, and now goes down and goes up. You get, so the air blows the bottom and it's no longer, it doesn't get soft because there's no longer space for the heat to hold themselves. I don't know how to explain it, but it works for me. So I put it in a sieve separate from the pot, and then again I go ahead, I start sharing the rice. This is the tricky part. I know my shoulders still hot, but it's tricky, but it works. You go ahead and flip, like, share the rice, put in a pot, fried rice, right? Fried rice. You get some of the veggies that you make, put in an empty pot, pour it there. Get, like, depend on how much rice you are making and how much veggies you have, you know how to share it. So I'll put veggies, I'll cut from the rice, I'll mix together, like I'm frying the rice. Technically I am frying the rice. So you get all of that out of the way, you take that out of the heat. Again, you keep repeating the same process until everything is well combined and you have nothing left to mix. Then all of the rice that you've mixed from the beginning till the end, if you want to, you can go ahead to mix them up together. If you don't want and you feel like, oh, I did a great job, I don't feel like one part was better than another, or the quantity I share them right, you don't need to do that. But what I do is, especially with this last batch that I did, I went ahead to put them all together and stir and taste to see if it was okay, and it was. Put it back on the heat for a little while, because I noticed that my rice was still a bit hard, not like so hard that they would not be able to consume it, but I needed the whole veggie seasoning and the whole colors from the veggies to really settle inside the rice. So yeah, that's what I did. Not so difficult now, is it? So yeah, I promise you. So 100% of the time, it doesn't flop. It doesn't flop. Leave that green color. Leave that thing alone. Leave that green color alone. Leave green color in fried rice alone. Yes, thank you. Back to what I was saying at the beginning, where I said we now have vendors who would make things very easy. You can go online and search for them. You find veggies plug. I have the one that I use. And it works. Me, I'm currently in Uyo, so yeah, she does that. You can get the one for coleslaw, you can get the veggies mix for your fried rice. So yeah, you can find them. They are everywhere. They are online. You can get them. You don't have to suffer so much because you are cooking anymore. My love, fine girl, fine boy. don't suffer anymore. Things have been made easy. If you can afford it, do it. But if you can't, most of the time, I love doing it. I buy fresh carrots from my same vendor. She understand? It's the coleslaw and I don't even have that time. Who wants to be doing cabbage and be cutting carrots for fried rice? Do you get it? So I'll get the carrots for the normal fried rice. I do the thing prepping myself because I know how much, like at least I know if I'm seeing what I am doing, it will allow me to know what quantity will work for what. Do you get? Now another thing is if the rice that you have is smaller than the veggies that you've intended to use, you could split it. You could actually make the whole veggie like the normal fried rice process and split it and serve some outside. Keep them in one of these pack that you love. Keep them in the fridge. When you want to make noodles, you can just bring them out and just spice up your noodles, or make spag, you can just bring them out, spice up your spag, or any small thing that you want to make, like even plain white rice. If you just want to eat rice and you don't have stew or whatnot, you can just get that veggies that you've already pre-made, pour it, make the rice, pour it on top and eat. It won't give you colors. If you are stirring, once you are stirring it together, you are getting colors, you are eating healthy, everything is working for your good. So I hope this has helped you a lot. Please like, follow, share and comment if you feel like I've done a great job and you really enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment in the description box below. I don't know how this works, but I'm really enjoying this new tripod stand or whatever it is. It's just like giving everything that it is supposed to give. So yeah, see you next time guys. Bye.